You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the 7 and a Hook Podcast, the world's premier sports betting podcast. Your source for the best information and insight when it comes to sports wagering. We cover it all because you bet on it all. So let's head up to the studio and get this show rolling.
Hey, Brooksie here, the Irish Insider for the 7 and a Hook Podcast. Hey, hope everybody's having a great day. I know I am. What are we focusing on tonight? Well, we're going to look at the NFL, specifically the NFC. That's right. We're going to break down the NFC. Each team, each division, we're going to go through their win totals. That's regular season win totals. About a week or so ago, I broke down every team in the AFC, and as promised, as I do each season, I break down the teams in the NFC also. So we're going to go through each team, each division, and I'm going to give you my prediction on their regular season win total over and under with the odds that are currently up at most of the books. Hey, before we get to that, college football is underway. It took off. Week 0 was a week ago, and week 1 was this week, and man, what a lot of great games we've already seen. For those that have been tuning in to the show, Brooksie here is currently 4-2 against the spread. Hey, listen, winning is winning. So to start the season off with 4 wins, two losses against the spread, I'll take it, right? It's all about taking picks and go cashing ticks. So listen, NFL season, college football season just underway. A lot of great things on tap here at 7 and a Hook. We've got not just myself. We've got other hosts. We've got Jimmy D for Double Down, right? We've got Easy Money, Eric LaFleche. We've got Dougie Betts, and that's Bet with a Z, right? And we can't forget Cara, the Queen of Diamonds. So there's going to be a lot of content as the season gets underway. Probably going to be doing some more remote shows at some local sports bars throughout New England, like we did at the end of last season. That was a lot of fun, taking the show on the road. So we've already talked to a few establishments, so we're working out the details there. But keep your eye on the 7 and a Hook website and all of our socials, because there'll be some announcements soon for our upcoming remote shows when we take the show on the road, and that's a lot of fun. We get to interact with the audience. We usually have some trivia, some giveaways. We give away some 7 and a Hook swag. Who wouldn't want some of that, right? Anyways, all right, so let's get right to it. We're going to go right to our NFC win totals. This is for the regular season, as I said, over under based on what the current book has them at. All right, we're going to start with the NFC East, all right? We've got the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to start off with the Cowboys. Right now, their regular season win total is set at 10, and it's minus 110 either way, whether you like it over or under. Okay, so I guess there's a little money going on both sides of this. Now, the Cowboys, last year they won 12 games, right? But this year, there's no Amari Cooper. They really had no big signings, so to speak, and their draft wasn't really that spectacular, right? So that's why, the book has them at 10. I mean, they're a 12-win team. Now they're booked at 10. Well, I tend to agree with the book on this one. So I'm going to go under. I'm going under 10 wins this season for the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, minus 110. We're going to go under the 10 wins. Okay, moving on. The G-Men, the Giants, the New York Giants. Wins total currently set at 7. Again, it's minus 110 to the over, minus 110 to the under. Now, this team had 4 wins last season, 4. So they're basically saying they're going to double their win total just about this year. They're going to go from 4 to 7. Really, can Jones, their quarterback, stay healthy, right? That is the big question. First 3 seasons, he hasn't. So, I don't know. Plus, they got a new coaching staff. But really, what I think is the X factor is Saquon Barkley, right? When that guy's on the field, he is a monster. He is just a man among boys. And I tell you what, he's had a few run-ins with the media so far, and everybody's questioning him, how he plays, should he do, and basically he told everybody to F off. He is in, I guess you could say he's in beast mode right now. So I think this cat is really going to be the engine to make the Giants roar this season, and I like his attitude. So guess what, folks? Yeah, I'm going over. I'm going over 7 wins this year for the Giants. I'm sure my dad is going to be happy. Why? Because my dad's a lifelong New York Giants fan, and one of our co-hosts, Easy Money Eric LaFleche, he's also a G-Man favorite. So my guess is he's probably smiling as he's watching this, as I say the Giants are going to go over 7 wins this year. All right, moving on. Philadelphia Eagles, 9 and a hook. 9.5 wins is their win total. Minus 150 to the over. So it's juiced to the over right now, and the under is plus 125. All right. Now this line started at 9. It's moved up to 9 and a hook. A lot of money going on at the Eagles this year. People like what they see. Now, they were a 9-win team last year, okay? Now, they added A.J. Brown. Big addition to their offense. Now, obviously, Mr. Jalen Hurts had to be high-fiving the general manager to bring that cat in for him to throw to. I really like the things that the Eagles have done, not only in the draft, but signings. So I'm going to go over the 9.5 wins here. Yeah, I'm going to lay the juice, but I think the Eagles are at least a 10-win team this season. All right, next up we got the Washington Commanders. Right now their win total is set at 8, okay? And it's plus 100 to the over. It's minus 120 to the under. Now they won 7 games last season, and if COVID really devastated, everybody was affected by COVID, right? But it really just seemed that the Commanders were devastated by it. They were having a pretty good run here and there, and then all of a sudden, it seemed like 20 guys a week couldn't play, and it really messed up their season. Now, they did pick up Carson Wentz in the offseason as quarterback. They also drafted Sam Howell out of North Carolina. Taylor Heineke, who was the starting quarterback last year, who showed some spunk, right? He played some good games, played some not so good games. Is kind of like, what's going on here? I played all last year, and you draft a quarterback, you bring in Carson Wentz. Listen, and I called him Taylor Heineken a lot of just for fun, but Taylor had again, as a fill-in, as a backup, he was okay, but he's a backup, and I think he needs to know that, or he knows that by now. So, what do I think about the Commanders this season? Yeah, I'm looking up. I like over. I think they're going to win at least 8 games. So you get the 8 games, you're going to get the push. But I actually think they're going to go over. A lot of people sleeping on the Commanders this year. I actually like them a little bit. Okay, NFC North. Let's move to the NFC North. We're going to start with the Chicago Bears. The Bears. 6.5 is their win total this season. Plus 150 to the over, minus 190 to the under. So it's really juiced to the under. Not a lot of bookies are giving the Bears a lot of credit here. Now, Justin Fields, quarterback. It's going to be his 2nd year in the league, and he did take over for part of the last year, but this is going to be his first full year at the helm. Last year, he threw for a little over 1,800 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. That was a quarterback rating of 26.5. Yeah, he's got to improve immensely this year if the Bears are going to do anything. They got a tough schedule. Not so much who they play, it's just how it's laid out. They play 13 games before they get to their bye week. So that's a lot of football before you get a little bit of a rest. Their defense is going to have to drive the bus, I think. And the defense is pretty good. Therefore, I know you people are looking at me kind of funny, but I'm going over. That's right. I'm going over 6.5 wins here for the Bears. That's right. Keep your eye on the Bears. They may surprise. They're going to sneak up on a few people this year. All right. The Lions. Detroit Lions next up. Okay. Their win total set at 6.5. 6 and a hook. Minus 125 to the over. Juice to the over. Plus 105 to the under. Now, everybody's darling this year, right? Because why? Well, they're HBO Hard Knocks, and they get to see behind the scenes, and Coach Dan Campbell, he's the guy, right? He's got a lot of great lines and quips, and he's definitely a player's coach, whatever you want to call it. Guys love him. You know, they'll run through a brick wall for this guy. He's that kind of coach. And anybody that played sports knows if you had a coach like that, you know what that means. Now, last year they were 3-13-1. Okay, so 3 wins last year. Now they're saying over 6.5, 6 and a hook. Jared Goff is the quarterback. A completely rebuilt defense. Can they? Will they? No. I'm sorry. I'm still not sold on the Lions, even though it's a great show on Hard Knocks. I am going with the under plus 105 for their win total. Plus 105 under 6.5 wins, 6.5 wins for the season. Now, that doesn't mean I won't be betting them every once in a while, because last year I did, and I made some good money on them because they were in a lot of games. Now, they lost a lot of games, but they covered a lot of games. So even though I don't think they're going to win more than 6.5 games, they'll probably be in a few, so you might get some value on them as underdogs, okay? All right, moving on. The Packers. That's right, the Green Bay Packers. Their wins total set at 11, okay? It's minus 110 to the over, minus 110 to the under, either way. All right, now the Packers, they've won 13 straight games in the last 3 years. So what happened where their win total is now dropped to 11? Well, obviously, you know, they think, when I say they, the lines makers, Devontae Adams, the great receiver, has left for Las Vegas, the Raiders. So, you know, are they saying Adams is worth 2 games? I guess they are. I mean, it almost seems like a little bit of disrespect for Aaron Rodgers and the rest of the team. Man, I don't know. Is Adams really worth 2 games? I say no. I think the Packers, give me the over 11 in this spot. Listen, they get to 11, you push. I think they're going to get to 12. Why? Because Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and they still have some good offensive, some weapons, especially in the backfield. They got 2 running backs they could be starters on other teams. So, all right, over 11 for the Packers. All right, rounding out the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings. Win total set at 9, okay? Now it's minus 130 to the over, plus 110 to the under. All right, they got a new head coach in Kevin O'Connell. Now, where does he come from? Well, he was the offensive coordinator from the Super Bowl champions last year. That's right, the Rams. So he brings a pretty good idea on how to score points. Because if you remember the Rams last year, they were fun to watch. They put up a lot of points. So now Kirk Cousins, quarterback for the Vikings, and wide receiver Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson arguably could be, one of the top 3 receivers in the league. Certainly have to be, doing cartwheels, going, wow, finally we get a head coach that's probably going to throw the ball quite a bit, and that's what those two like to do. Now, last year, speaking about Justin Jefferson, he had 108 receptions for over 1,600 yards, 10 receptions. And Kirk Cousins, no slouch either, over 4,200 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. I like the Vikings here. I think this is a team that you better watch. Everyone says the Packers are going to win the NFC North. The Vikings are going to have something to say about that. I'm going over 9 wins for the Vikings. That's minus 130. All right, moving on. We're going to go to the NFC South, and we're going to start with the Atlanta Falcons, down to the ATL. Win total set at 5, okay? The unders, juice to the under, minus 145 to the under, plus 125 to the over. All right, now that win total opened up at 5 and a hook, so it's dropped to 5. So again, a lot of money, or most of the money going against the Falcons here to win many games. Now this is, if you look at the team, it is a complete restructure, reconstruction, whatever word you want to use down there. No Matty Ryan, right? Quarterback is gone. He's been there, 12, 13 years. They've got a whole new defense. They've got a whole new offense. Marcus Mariota, I say that with a little twinge, is the starting quarterback. Now, he's been a backup last couple of years in Las Vegas. I don't know about that. They did draft Desmond Ridder, really great college quarterback out of Cincinnati. Obviously, he's going to probably watch Marcus for this season, maybe part of the season, depending on how Marcus does, learn the NFL, but he's really the long-term answer. Or at least they think he is down in Atlanta. It's a second year for head coach Arthur Smith. They had 7 wins last season. I think they're pretty much going to be, again, there's no such thing as a laughing stock in the NFL, but they're going to be a little bit of a train wreck. They're going to be a tough team to watch. I'm going under. That's right. I'm going under 5 wins here for Atlanta. All right, moving on. Carolina Panthers. Win total set at 6.5, 6 and a hook. It's minus 110 under, minus 110 to the over, either way. Now that line started at 6, so it's jumped up a little bit to 6.5. They've won 5 games each of the last 3 seasons. They haven't had a winning season literally since 2017. Okay, Sam Darnold's out. He's hurt. I don't know if he's out for the whole season. They went out and signed Baker Mayfield. He's won the starting job. Is he the reason why the line went from 6 to 6.5? I don't know. Baker Mayfield to me is a hit or miss kind of quarterback. He'll do some really great things, but he really does some bonehead things too. Look for him to do probably less bonehead things in Carolina. Why? Because he's kind of fighting for a job. He's got to prove himself. Was he a failure in Cleveland, or did Cleveland fail him? So I'm going to look for Baker to probably, play a little smarter football. And remember, he was injured quite a bit last year, so I think he's healthy as he's going to be. So and don't forget the other guy, Christian McCaffrey, Superman, right? Everybody wants him on their fantasy team until he gets hurt. Again, if he stays healthy, he's a magician out there. So, again, what do I think about Carolina? Over. Yeah, I'm going to go over 6.5 wins here for the Panthers. All right, moving on. The New Orleans Saints. Their win total regular season set at 8.5, 8 and a hook. It's minus 115 to the under, minus 105 to the over. This line opened up at 7 and a hook, 7.5. So it's already moved from 7 and a hook to 8 and a hook. Jameis Winston. He's healthy. Yes, he is. And when he's healthy, he's a pretty good quarterback. Yes, he throws a lot of interceptions, but he also throws a lot of touchdowns. And he's mobile, okay? And guess what? Michael Thomas is back. That's right. Remember that receiver from a couple years ago that was unstoppable, basically, with Drew Brees? Well, he's back. And believe me, Jameis Winston is very, very excited. Now, is he going to come back and be the Superman that he was? I don't know yet. But I know one thing. Michael Thomas is as good as any receiver on any Sunday. And Mr. Winston has to be excited, along with the rest of the offense. So, they went 9-8 last season. I actually think they're going to be better this year. Yeah, I'm going to go over the 8.5 wins this year for the Saints. All right, last team in the NFC South is the Bucs. That's right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Win total set at 11.5, 11 and a hook, plus 105 to the over, and it's minus 125 to the under. Now, last year, Tampa Bay went 13-4. Tom Brady, basically led the league in every category. He was just amazing. They came up a little bit short in the playoffs. And then what did Brady do? He retired. He unretired. The rumor that, and then he missed training camp, half of it. Maybe he was on the Unmasked Singer. Maybe he wasn't. Whatever. It seems like there's maybe some trouble in paradise at the Brady home. I mean, last report was that him and his wife were fighting and this drama. It's like, okay, really? What family doesn't have drama, right? I'm sure Tom Brady's not the only one that occasionally has some issues with his family or his wife. So, but where does that leave Tampa Bay this season? It's Tampa Bay. It's Tom Brady. If he's there, they're going to play good football because they have so many weapons. So as far as the 11 and a hook, yeah, I'm going over. I'm going over 11 and a half wins for Tampa. All right. Last up is the NFC West. This, I don't know if I want to call this the train wreck part of the NFC, but it might be. And that's just a joke because there's some really good teams here that are going to surprise some people, I think, seriously. Start with the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. 8.5, 8.5 wins, juiced -110 either way, over or under. Now this line opened at 9, okay, and it's dropped to 8.5. Kyler Murray, he had a little bit of a saga, drama saga in the offseason with his contract. I want to play there, I don't want to play there. I follow him, the team on Twitter, I unfollow him. It got resolved, he's got his money. DeAndre Hopkins, now that's a big deal, wide receiver. He's suspended 6 games, start of the season. He had knee surgery last year. He was taking some sort of banned substance. I don't know what it was, but you know he got pinched, and he's not gonna be playing for the first 6 games. That's going to hurt Arizona without a doubt. Arizona tends to start fast and fade. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I actually think they're going to play a little better football. People are hating on them. Okay, they think they're going to be a train wreck, and that's kind of what I was referring to a couple seconds ago. I think Arizona is going to be better than people think. I'm going over 8.5 wins for the Cardinals. All right, the Rams, last year's Super Bowl champions. Win total set at 10.5, 10 and a hook. It's -125 to the under, +105 to the over. Super Bowl champions, right? They're going to have a hangover? Ooh, it's hard to say right now. Last year they won 12 games, okay? Right now the book is saying they're only going to win 10.5. So I think they are thinking it's going to be one of those hangover years. Now Matthew Stafford, he's got, I guess it's elbow tendonitis, says he's okay. Don't know if he is or not. We'll see certainly in week 1. Basically, if you look at the Rams, the band is back together for another run here. So, but if you really look at last year, there was some breaks that went their way that if they didn't, you know what, maybe they wouldn't have been in the Super Bowl. So I am going to bank on a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover, and guess what? I'm going under 10.5 wins here for the Rams. All right, the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, their win total is set at 10. It's -110 either way, over or under. Now, the Niners won 10 games last season. They kind of snuck up on a lot of people, considering they started 2-5. They ended 10-7, right? So they played some really good football the last 10 games of the season. They made it into the NFC Championship, and they lost to the eventual Super Bowl winner, the Rams, 20-17. They were in that game, man. They were only 3 points away from going to a Super Bowl. Now, a lot of things have changed in the offseason. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo brought them to that NFC Championship game, but now he's a backup, right? Trey Lance, his era as their quarterback starts this season. Again, this is one of those teams that a lot of the pundits are saying, yep, they're going to come on this year. They're going to do great things. I'm going to go against it. So I'm going under 10 wins here for the 49ers. I think Trey Lance has got to prove himself to me, at least for one season, before I say, yeah, the 49ers are a threat in the NFC West. All right, last team on the board for the NFC West and the NFC in general is the Seattle Seahawks. Wins total set at 5.5, 5 and a hook. +105 to the under, and it's -125 to the over. All right, this is down from 6. So the line, their win total started at 6, is now dropped to 5.5. So the Russell Wilson era is complete, right? He's gone. He's moved on to the Denver Broncos. So looks like Geno Smith, Drew Lock, looks like Geno Smith before we went to air, I think he's named the starter for week 1. You know what? remember, Seattle, regardless of who's playing quarterback, is one of the hardest places to go on the road and win. I think over the last 10 years, okay, they have a 70% winning percentage at home. That's right, and it doesn't matter who's at quarterback, okay? So now they've got 9 home games this season, all right? So 70% of 9 is what? Right around 6? So again, I'm going to say regardless of quarterback, and they do have some good weapons there in Seattle. And Pete Carroll, yeah, he makes some bonehead moves as a coach, but he's still an okay coach, right? So guess what? I'm going over the 5.5 wins here for Seattle. All right, so that wraps up my thoughts on the NFC regular season win totals. If you go back, you can look at some of the previous podcast. Again, it was probably about a week ago. I broke down the AFC win totals for the regular season. Okay, so again, hopefully, am I going to play every single win total? No, but what we do here is we want to give insight on as many games and as much information that we can. Why? Because we have followers that are Tampa Bay fans or they're Seattle fans, and not everybody bets the same way, right? So we want to give you the best insight and the best information so that you can what? You can take the picks and go cash some ticks. So hey, again, season is just about to get underway. What a great time of year. Before I end this edition, I want to thank everybody that has been tuning in. The show has been on air now little over a year. That's right. We launched it August 2021. We're into September of 2022. Couldn't do this without you. So again, thanks again for tuning in. And make sure you check out all of our socials. Above my head is the website, right? 7innahook.com. Go to our Twitter page, go to our YouTube page, go to our Facebook page, etc. And give us a like, give us a follow. And out. As I always say, don't be a spectator, be a participator. Send in some comments, email us, tell us what you think. Is there a certain sport that you want us to talk about? Because we do talk about just about everything out there. Why is that? We cover it all because you bet on it all, and that's the truth. So anyway, as we always say, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.
Thanks again for tuning in to the 7 and a Hook podcast. Until next time, may your bad beats be small and your big wins be monster.